HollyHall.com. I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on, but we are going to talk about you would not believe what happened to me today. You would not believe what happened to me today. Okay, so first of all, we're at the very last day of Mercury retrograde. It goes direct tomorrow, and sometime tomorrow, I think it's early in the morning. And everything and anything that could happen in a Mercury retrograde happened to me today. What happened to you? Come on, tell me what happened to you. And I'm watching it. I'm watching it globally happening all over the place, this Mercury retrograde. So it's still going to be in the shadow until around the 23rd or the 24th, I believe. I know. You know what? Oh, you love my hair. Thank you. It's actually, you know what? Somebody tell me this is actually the color that it is, right? I did it. It's actually a little brighter. But when I take a picture of it with my phone has some stupid filter on it and I can't get rid of it. And I've even downloaded other apps and it filters it and it makes it yellow, like orangey color when it's pink. Okay. I'm about the pink. Wait till you see my new website. So excited. Yeah, so your Zoom stopped working. So my computer has been acting up for a while. I got a 2020 MacBook Pro. I got 500 gigabytes on it so that I got a lot of room, not because I put a lot on my computer, but I have a lot of tabs open. Like literally, I could have 30 to 35 tabs open, and I'm always bouncing. I think I got ADD, tab ADD, TADD. Is there such a thing? I need to have them all open, and it takes up a lot. But I had less than a gigabyte, 500 gigabytes. I had less than a gigabyte of room. So finally I said, I'm going to have to call Apple and figure this out. So from 11 o'clock this morning till 1, then I worked for 2 hours, 3 hours. And we specifically in the chat said we would talk at a certain time. They called me an hour early, which I was working. So I didn't answer. And then I spent till, okay, now this is now 4 o'clock. They were supposed to call it 3:45. So it's 4 o'clock and I was on there till 7:30. And I had to completely dump everything and do a factory reset. Yeah, not the worst thing in the world. I woke up feeling sick. I haven't been sick in over 2 years. And I woke up feeling a little bit sick, kind of not a scratchy throat or anything, but like sniffly, and sneezy. And that went away like weirdly around 1. 2, I started feeling better. And then I started feeling it again tonight, but that can be a thyroid thing for me. The news globally, I'm going to tell you because we still got this Capricorn stuff. But first, I have to share with you because she's shaking like a leaf. I have to let her down. But I wanted to share with you my puppy. My little doggy. Say hi, Piper. Her name is Piper. She's shy. Piper, over there. She likes to sit on my shoulder. There she is. You can't even see her eyes. There we go. I wanted to share my Piper with you. She's 1 year old. She's 1 year old. She's about 7.5 pounds. You look massive right here. And she always likes to sit like this on my shoulder. So anyways, I'm going to let Piper down. But the reason I wanted to bring in, show you my dog, because we're also going to be talking about instinct. Okay. Now, people poo-poo and they woo-woo instinct, psychic ability, intuition, gut feelings, right? I can feel it in my heart. My heart says no, I don't, my heart isn't in it. All of these sort of cliche phrases about this extrasensory perception that humans have, that scientists debunk, and a lot of people debunk, right? In fact, because my name is one of my pet peeves, because my name says Intuitive Life Coach, whenever I'm in a group and I make a comment or ask a question, there's always some idiot that'll say like, well, you're a psychic, you're a clairvoyant life coach, you're intuitive, you should know the answer. Or life coach, ha ha ha, where'd you get that degree? It's like, so, but, science in animals, there's instinct. In fact, they hire dogs and train dogs for people that have epilepsy because the dog knows when the person is going to have an epileptic seizure before the person even knows. So what's that? It's real. They hire them, they train them. This is very real. So instincts in animals are very real. And you know that if you have an animal, you can clearly see when their head kind of goes up, what's going on. They know someone's coming to the door before they come to the door, before the car barely pulls up. They're like, they know, right? And we have that. Animals have it. Migratory animals have it, and they have what's called a magnetite. It's a crystal. It's usually around the beak with birds, for instance, and this helps them know where due north is, and it helps them sort of come back home and then know where to go when they migrate. They've discovered, I don't know when, but they discovered that you can look it up, magnetite. It's in our bridge of our nose. So we have it too. And how close is that to our third eye? Okay. So this is something that we have to start honing in and practicing our intuition, our gut feeling. And how do you do this? You shut down the intellect. Shut it down. Shut down. Now, how do you know that your intellect is out of balance, which means you got too much intellect and not enough, too much right brain? No, sorry, too much left brain and not enough right brain. All right. How do you know that? First of all, it's very hard for you to cry. Been a long time since you've been able to share deep, passionate emotion, which means you can control your emotions. You don't get out of control. Logic to you is like, no, we don't share feelings. We rationalize it, and then we weigh it all out, and then we'll share it intellectually, rather than show an expression of emotion. How do you know when you're too much in the right brain, which means you're too much into the emotional part? And this is also masculine, feminine energy. How do you know that you're too much into the feminine energy? You cry more often than you would like. You're more expressive than you would like. And there's an exaggeration, a reaction all the time to everything. And you react emotionally. And that emotions doesn't have to be sad or crying. It can be mad, frustrated, irritable, all that kind of stuff, right? What you want to do to balance it out is observation. Observation, and that's also in physics, observation will tell you, will just observing alone will change and shift. People think, what should I do? I need to read a book. I need to take a course or a workshop in order to make more money, or let go of my money blocks, or let go of my love blocks that's holding me back from finding a relationship. No, I'll tell you, the simplest way to do it is just by observing your behavior, right? So for instance, I have clients that got a lot of Sagittarius, a lot of Uranus in their chart. And these people have a really hard time with commitment and their commitment phobia. So even though most of us want love, and when we don't have it, we want it more, we don't realize that unconsciously, ones that have commitment issues or issues with detachment, right? You unconsciously attract a person that is going to be emotionally, intellectually, psychologically non-attached, not available. And that's a negative sense of freedom, because these people need freedom in their relationships. And therefore, when you observe, by, let's say, looking back at your past love and your relationships, that you have hand-picked or cherry-picked these types of people and placed them into the role of your partner and future partner in your life, just observe that you did that. And observe historically the signs that this person wasn't ready. And even observe that maybe you weren't ready either. When you observe that, then as you observe it, it starts to transform. It starts to expand. And they've actually proven that in a 19, I think it was a 1950s experiment called the double slit experiment. Look that up, slit experiment. And they accidentally found that observation changed the direction or the movement of protons. So observation is extremely important. And that's all you have to do. Like, look at me thinking negative again, or look at me razzing my husband again. I must be irritated about something else, right? Observation. So we're going to do some quick readings right now before we get any further. And so hopefully that's a quick little tip for how you can manage that. So another one, oh, sorry, I'm going to give you another one. This one I discovered not too long ago with me. I have a bad habit of over-explaining myself. Okay. Specifically, if I think that a situation or a person is incorrect in their information that they're giving me. Okay. And it is incorrect because either I've experienced it or it's part of my own life. And it's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I was there, or I was in this situation, or I know someone in that situation because I know people all over the world, right? This is not the way it is. And I'll just go. Or if somebody is characterizing me and mischaracterizing me and saying, well, you're just doing this for that reason, or you're doing it for this reason, and I'll just spend so long over explaining myself, kind of like what I'm doing now. And so I observe that. So what I do now is when I'm texting, or mostly it's texting, right? Communication. Something in me says, don't send that. Normally, I would sit there and weigh it out and rationalize it and then say, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, I'm sending it. Now, I just don't send it. Sometimes I get validation of why I shouldn't have, and other times I get no validation. When I have sent it in the past, I'd realize later that was not a good move. And a lot of times it isn't about being right or wrong. A lot of times it's about know your audience. And that's how I explain it. Know your audience. So that means, did they ask for that information? Are you going to really change their narrative by pushing your narrative on them? So when you have this gut feeling that I shouldn't go there, I shouldn't do that, I shouldn't call right now, I shouldn't interfere, then you're going to feel you're going to not do it. Just a sec. I have to grab my phone. So what I'm going to have you guys do, hopefully you can hear me. What I'm going to have you guys do is take a look at the question that you might want to ask and put in one line your question and your birth date. That's how your cat sits on you. She's 17 pounds. Whoa, I do some squats. and ask that all in one line. Okay. Yeah, she's so cute, isn't she? She really is a really good dog too. Okay. I will try to bring in Tori, somebody from the past. And I'm really, honestly, it doesn't make me look good because I'm only about 50% accurate. And usually I want to be one-on-one with the person so they can tell me right away, no, it doesn't ring a bell. So then I go, okay, can't do it. I am getting right away that this is a male figure. There's one that looks like it's hard to say, 18, getting 18, 21. And there's another one that's older, but not like super old. Not like super old. I guess it depends how old you are. It's all reference to your perception, right? In the 50s, like 56, I'm getting. These two men are related somehow. but didn't know each other. Isn't that weird? Related, but didn't really know each other. So I'm going to ask you validation for that. And if that's so, then I will continue communicating with them and see if I'm getting it right. All right. Okay. So I'm looking to make a big career move and launching a program to train and certify coaches. Will this be as successful as I believe it will be? Details. Good question. Okay. So we've got June 13th, 82. June 13th, 82. June 13th, 82. AskHollyHall.com is where you want to go. My site is under construction. However, you can still very easily book a session there. My mini sessions have become quite popular right now. And I didn't even get to finish all of them with all this Mercury retrograde computer stuff going on. And Christina, I'll get to you as well too. And let's see here. And 12:41 p.m. So we're going to answer your question. So I'm going to read something to you as well. And this will give you guys an idea why the question that Cassandra is asking is on point. Exactly the kind of questions that I want to answer. So listen to what this is sort of my elevator speech. So using the secret of authentic energy that comes to us in a quantum level in a very physical way, the energy of the universe, the stars, and the timing that I give to you with the dates and events that are coming your way is very, very important. In heeding my advice with the timelines, you will encapsulate that energy that is given to you only at that moment. It does not mean that that time will not come to you again. It will only revisit with the same energy on a different level, right? So why not capture the energy now? Use that energy now. Be with that energy now and create and manifest now. Each time dimensions of energies comes to us, and we can build on what we have already designed or add to it with more abundance, more ease, more healing, and more awareness. So what I mean by that, and we're going to look this up now. What I mean by that is that, let's say somebody says, I want to move. And I'll say, okay, this is the time. When should I sell my house? This is a good time to sell your house, between June 1st and June 15th. And if the time comes and they procrastinate and they don't get everything done, or they're disagreeing with their husband about the selling of the house, and they'll be like, I missed it, Holly. And I say, no, there's another one coming, and there's another one coming. There's going to be 2 or 3 opportunities continuously. However, let's say that the moving of this house determines the speed of the production of her career or her business. So what would happen is that if she's not taking advantage of that move in June, then it will delay the processing of a new business coming. And therefore, I would see dates pushing further out. However, there's always other important things. If her and her husband need to really work some things out first, that takes precedence. Okay, that takes precedence, and it's okay for some things to get pushed back or pushed forward. So in this case for Cassandra, that she wants to start a coaching business and wants to know when that's going to be successful, it's going to be, okay, there's a double-edged sword here. Okay, it's going to be a bit tough, right? And this is what I'm going to say to you. The tough part really is internalizing. It's internal within you. And it's already been tough. It's been tough for about a year and a bit. And that cycle ends in December. And I know you're going to go like, oh, Holly, it ends in 11 months from now. But what are you doing during this time? You're actualizing a dream. You've got to make sure that you don't articulate or detail it too much. Just like what I was talking about earlier. Every time you try to over-communicate, oversell, over-talk, or add too much in the curriculum or too much in the courses, or broaden it out extensively to try to please all of the different types of people that you want to attract, it's not going to work. There's going to be a lot of misunderstandings. There's going to be a lot of confusion. People are going to argue with you and bicker with you about it. But What is this? This is helping you to actualize your real dream that you've always wanted. This is only a portion of what you wanted. A portion of it you're holding back on. And I think it's because there's a limiting belief that you're not the most knowledgeable, and you are. You know more than most of the people that are going to come your way. Could they learn this somewhere else? Yes. Could they research it and get it themselves? Absolutely. But you're the teacher. Okay, so think of yourself not like a coach, but a teacher. Now, the other part of it that's going to manifest for you financially, that's going to start in the summer. And there's actually a friend. It will very sudden, unexpected opportunity that's going to happen for you in June. So in the end of May and June, all of a sudden, last minute opportunity. It's going to be different. You're going to have to niche it. You're going to have to make it different. And right then you've got a 1-year opportunity to carve out your own unique version of this. So if this is a coaching platform that already exists and you're building on it, or you're kind of using it to anchor onto it. So let's say I took a Tony Robbins course. So I'm like, I'm going to be the Tony Robbins coach because I'm certified in Tony Robbins coaching, right? This would be, if I was going through this would be a time where it says, don't anchor onto that. No, you're not Tony Robbins coach. You're something completely different and unique to that. Now, it's always something that you feel is actually a strain in your life right now. And that is the educational system. So this is around helping people heal, helping mothers heal around communication skills. So mediation, communication skills, self-expression, and also around something to do with the educational system. That's all I can say. So you can give me feedback on that. That would be totally wicked cool. So this one here is, my question is, how can we heal my son's epilepsy? Tried many things, but still my birthday is May 2nd, 1984. Okay, I only can do one when I'm doing these quickies. Isn't this absolutely fascinating that I started off this live, and I don't know if you were listening to it right away, Christina, but I started off this live talking about intuition and how there's an animal instinct that everyone has, including humans, but humans debunk it and saying that it's woo-woo. And I use the example of how they train dogs, specific dogs for people with epileptic seizures. And these dogs know when there's an epileptic seizure prior to the person knowing that they're going to have one instinctually, and they're trained that way too. So I don't know if that's a message for you, if I brought that up because that's a message for you, but just take that into account. I'm not, can you tell me his time of birth? Hopefully if you guys know the time, put that all in one line too. August 20th, 2015. I'm not a medical practitioner, and please, please, please do your due diligence. Anything that I say is not carved in stone. And it's really important that you take responsibility for my part in advising astrologically. All right. One of the triggers for your son is sugar. He actually really has an addiction to sugar and loves sugar or anything that will give him that sugar high in his head. Check with a naturopath. You can start to alleviate that by giving him very pleasant for kids, all natural fruit-based sugars, such as in shakes with monk fruit if you need to sweeten it, or Swerve. You can look that up if you want to sweeten it as well. Hiccups. And there are beautiful ones that are chocolate peanut butter, ones that are called creamsicles. There's a lot of really good ones for kids that don't have unnatural sugars. That's his Leo. He's a triple Leo. The other one is everything is filtered through him, quite dramatized, and he can be very dramatic himself, and his self-expression is quite entertaining at times. And sometimes you have to take it with a grain of salt because he can be really like, "Wah!" The worst thing ever, and you find out it's like it's drama. He's kind of adding some entertainment value to the story that his sister gave him, I don't know, took his toy away or whatever. So he's 7 years old. The other thing is he's got a lot no, I don't know his time of birth, so I can't do that. I've got it at 12:14 PM, um, and I don't know the location, so you would have to consider that. The other thing is he is going through a really difficult time in communication, and, that the learning component around that, and that also ends right now, like, it actually ends in a couple of weeks. So you're gonna see a great improvement in him in a couple of weeks, specifically if you can take the sugar out. Now, refined sugar is obviously what most people think about with sugar, but there's also, I would take away any honeys or maple syrups for now. You can add them in as time goes on, but really refined carbohydrates are just the same as sugar in your body, like spaghetti and bread and things like that, right? So you're going to see a grave improvement. The other thing is that if you're giving him supplements of any kind that you might have been advised, he's best to have supplements that go through the skin, so like a patch or under the tongue or as an injection like vitamin B's, but I don't see why a 7-year-old would need that. But or crushing them up maybe and under the tongue, whoever's advised you of that, you can double check with them because his digestive system is really, really has a hard time, especially now. And he's not able to absorb the vitamins through his food, through his intestinal tract and stomach like most of us do. And so that's best that way. He does have some legitimate, like, trust issues. So, again, depending on the time of his birth. So, I don't know. I hope that helps you out. Let's get to the next question, and then, we're gonna okay, Cindy, I am pursuing a part-time independent contracting job, and with very large company, but am asking for a higher rate of pay base on my experience. Will I get the amount that I am worthy of? October 14th, 76. And you gave me your time. So thank you for that. And this is going to be basically a yes or no, a yes or no question, right? And 1:39 p.m. Okay. So drum roll, please. And the answer is absolutely. Absolutely. You've got and you know what? Up until about, I'd say the beginning of last year or entering from winter to spring, this is Canadian version. I don't know. So February, March of 2021, you're a pretty uh, non-confrontational person. You're pretty easygoing. Like you put up with a lot and you harbor in and hold in a lot of anger and feelings, very controlled around your emotions and your feelings. You don't really expose a lot of vulnerability. But during that time of 2019 and the very beginning of 2021, you let them have it. You had enough. It was push came to shove. And therefore, whether you might have quit a job and started another one, you didn't really understand your value or your worth. So you've got the magic wand syndrome here now, and you can get any money anyways. And there's also seems to be shares involved in this or some kind of bonus of extra, and you should be getting that as well. Um, and so when I look at the exact date around that, there'll be another opportunity in December, and there's definitely now, and you'll receive that after the 23rd of February, so within 3 weeks. between the 23rd of February and the first couple of weeks of March. That's that time frame of proposition. I believe that if they come to you before the 23rd, they come to you with a feeling, a sense of negotiation. Don't negotiate. You can get anything you want and you go for it, or you're gone, because you already know where the other prospects are and you'll nail it. You don't like change, so you'd rather not do that. Okay, so then we're going to look at Hillary. Do I have timeline on my love affair? Like, I want a spouse, family, etc. Awesome. Okay, so we got May 22nd, 1991. We don't have your time of birth. It's important to have that in the future, guys, when I come at that. And sorry, May 22nd, 1991. AskHollyHall.com is where you can get a reading. I got these mini readings. They're like $37, I think. And you know what? Oh my gosh. You are loyal to a fault when you're in a relationship, and you've been in some that probably should have ditched them a while ago. But you try so hard and you end up picking mama boys or mama girls, whatever your preference is. But people that really have mom issues and quite intense codependency. And it's been hard. I mean, just recently I'm going to look at 2021, 24. Yeah, so the next 2 years, starting in 2022, there's going to be a lesson. You're a really restless person, and you can get bored easily. And you are subconsciously, just like I was talking about earlier, those that have commitment issues, you're subconsciously picking people that are needy. And because you like nurturing, you like problem solving, you like helping people, but they become codependent on that, and then they don't stick around, right? Or you end up in this big battle with their mommy issues, or even older sister issues. And this is a limiting belief that you're going to let go. And when you find the love of your life, and I know everybody always wants to hear that it's going to be tomorrow, it will be in around the end of December, but specifically, let me just look at one more thing. 27, 15. So there's a couple of times. There's one that's coming up in May, and that one will be a lesson for you. You may not feel that there's an attraction there at first. And this one really teaches you one last time, I'm done with these types of people, these types of partners. And it's painful. You're in a very intuitive, emotional person. So you go through a lot of emotions when you're in a relationship. You're quite exhausted around it. But there's a very good chance. But the strongest chance that I see for you is I want to see, January 2023. Okay. All right. So let's go look at another one. Yes, I was. Yes, I was what, Christina? Yes, I was. Okay, when you guys make comments, I like to know, yes, I was what? Okay, and Cassandra, who asked about the business of starting her own coaching training. Appreciate you. I literally just had a friend who wanted me to sign up on her coaching platform, but I know now it's not the right move. No. And I'm in touch. I am going to launch my own. Yes. This is great. Thank you. I'll book in to get more clarity. Thank you. And you know what, guys, use the code star 20 and you'll get 20% off. Okay. You normally I have like this newsletter pop up. If it doesn't pop up, but if it does pop up, I appreciate that you would do that. And thank you, Cassandra. I'm laughing because that is so him. He's so dramatic. Okay. You're right about the sugar. All right. Good. That was with the epilepsy. I quit long-term job and started a new path with much success this far. Thanks. Okay, great. It was a Wednesday. What was a Wednesday? But I don't know how to control. I don't, it's not allowing me to scroll down. Don't know how to control my emotions. Are um okay. Cindy, not sure. Okay, that's great. Love the feedback. Okay, everyone. So this was just like a little quickie that I wanted to do. Um, okay, thanks. This is a little bit of a quickie that I wanted to do in supporting everyone in this last final era of Mercury retrograde. It's been this last 3 or 4 days, and the next 3 or 4 days are going to be monumental within yourself. So now this is about taking your power back, not allowing people to control you, to exercise complete autonomy, to realize that to stop lifting a bar, right? Goal orientated people keep lifting the bar and they're never in gratitude for the achievements, and they don't reward themselves with gratitude. So if you find yourself saying, well, I don't have enough credit, I don't have enough credibility, I don't have enough experience, I don't have enough diplomas, I don't have enough da 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 da. This is the energy for the next 4 days. This is what you want to stop. If somebody's being the boss of you and misusing their power over you, whether it be it's a very masculine energy. So could be a father, could be a husband, could be a boss. And even if the boss is female, it's this masculine energy. I'm the boss of you. You're going to find yourself saying, no, I'm not the boss. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me. Okay. Don't say I'm the boss of you. Don't go into this locking horns with somebody and in this power struggle, right? You want to go, I am the boss of me. And this is how I'm going to navigate this situation. And it isn't because you're being pushy or you're bullying me. That doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It can be a system as well. It could be a work environment and a system within the work environment. It could be laws and regulations and boundaries within the work environment. It can also be on a level of government. And it could be on the level of, it's usually in institutions. So institutions are like prisons, hospitals, educational system. And this is a time because this leads us into the year. Okay, this convergence, it's Capricorn convergence, leads us into the year with our first new moon and full moon of the year. And that is around, how are you going to take your power back? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to take your power back? What goals are you going to set to take your power back? And that doesn't mean bullying somebody and telling them that they have no power and you have more power. It's not about that. It's about just owning your own shit and taking your power back and just sitting with that non-intention. So no intention of weakening somebody else or limiting their power. It's about you. What are you going to do for yourself? And again, how do we do that? Observation. Okay, everyone. So hopefully that has helped everyone out. AskHollyHall.com is where you can get your readings done. There's reviews on my Facebook page. If you're in YouTube right now, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Like my YouTube channel. I really want to start building that more so than the Facebook platform because I really don't like Facebook. Not saying YouTube is any better, but it's not the same energy, not the same type of interaction. So if you could do that, that would be super cool. And signing off, namaste.